So what does it actually mean when someone says that they're in favor of a Palestinian state? If it's your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors, your friends, they just want a Palestinian state. Why don't we just give them their own sovereignty? Well, it's not that simple. Take a look at what Carolyn Glick, prominent journalist and author, Israeli American, has to say about the seemingly benign topic.
The whole issue of whether or not the settlements in Judea and Samaria are somehow or another going to destroy Israel or not is not about demography, and it's not about peace. It's about civil rights. It's about Jewish civil rights. What they are saying essentially is that Jews should not be allowed to live there just because they're Jews. Now, why should Jews be allowed to live in London, live in Germany, live in San Francisco, but not be allowed to live in Judea? Why? And in Jerusalem? Where does this come from? They want to talk so much about Palestinian rights. Let's talk about Jewish rights for a second. You're saying that you so support a Palestinian state that is going to be inherently bigoted and that Jews aren't allowed to even live there, that they have to all be ethnically cleansed first before these people can even deign to accept sovereignty. What kind of state do you want to establish? What kind of nonsense is this? This is a racket. This is a racket. Jews don't have civil rights. We're not allowed to live wherever we have property rights to build just because we're Jewish? And this is a moral argument? This is a reasonable argument? This is establishing what exactly? A state based upon ethnic purity? This is.
The fact of the matter is that in 1937 and in 1947 and in 2000 and in 2008, the Palestinian Arabs were offered generous swaths of Jewish lands in order to develop their own country, their own Palestinian state, but they rejected it because they don't want a state. They don't want a state of their own. They just want the end of the Jewish state. In fact, Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the PA, the Palestinian Authority, has said that he will never accept a Jewish state in their own charter of the Fatah, not even Hamas charter, but the Fatah charter. The PA, they call for the complete eradication of the state of Israel. And hence the Torah tells us in the Code of Jewish Law, chapter 329, the Torah tells us that if you're dealing with an enemy, with a non-Jews on your border, and they're threatening us, we have to fight against them to defend ourselves. But if they're coming on a border city, if they're coming to a border city, a city near the border, even if they're only coming for economic reasons, for straw and hay, we go out and we violate the Shabbos in order to protect our lives. Now, this is true when it comes to those who are coming to plunder us for resources. How much more so is this true when it comes to those who are committed and avowed to murdering our people? We learned on October 7th who are the people living in Gaza. We already gave them a Palestinian state, and we saw what kind of government they elected for themselves in the Hamas and what they were capable of. This is not just about protecting Jewish people. This would apply anywhere in the world where Jewish communities are coming under threat, that we have to violate the Shabbos for those that are, to attack those that are coming to threaten us on the border, even if they're coming for economical reasons. And the reason for this is because of human life, not only Jewish life, but even the lives of the Arabs. They also need to be protected. Giving the Arabs a Palestinian state is going to perpetuate death, war, and destruction. The Arabs have never had it as good. Nowhere else in the Middle East do Arabs live as freely as they do inside of the one Jewish state, where they have the freedom of religion, the freedom to live as they wish, and the freedom to exercise as they wish. I remember when I was in a taxi going from the old city of Jerusalem to the new city of Jerusalem, there was a taxi driver from Bethlehem, and he was telling us. We asked him, "So how does he feel living on the other side?" He said he lives in what's called the West Bank. He said, "Palestine, we don't want to live in Palestine. We want to live in Jerusalem. We want to live in Israel because life is good in Israel. Here we have healthcare. Here we have rights. Here we're allowed to speak, and nobody's going to attack us." I pulled out my phone. I said, "Can I take a video of you?" He said, "Oh no, you can't take a video of me, because if you take a video of me speaking like this, they're going to kill me." This is what it means when people say that they stand for a Palestinian state. It's so important that we understand what it is that we're supporting.